I am a permanent resident. How can I apply for Canadian citizenship?
Now, if you're a permanent resident of Canada, once you meet the minimum qualification, of course, you can apply for Canadian citizenship. When you apply for Canadian citizenship, there's a number of factors that you have to consider before you even thinking about qualification. Number one, you have to think about which country you're from and whether getting your Canadian citizenship affects on your current citizenship. So some countries like South Korea, I can talk about, if you get a Canadian citizenship, technically you lose your Korean citizenship. So if you have certain circumstances like the asset back home, or have a land back home, or you have a family back home, or you have some contract or business or a bank account, whatever you may have, having Canadian citizenship may affect that. Second, your retirement funds. If you're from a country that you build up some retirement funds or pensions, having Canadian citizenship may affect that too. Third, a tax. If you're getting, in Canada, it's not a big deal because we tax based on our residency. But some countries, if you gain a citizenship, they will force you to pay different kind of tax rate. So those are the three things right on top of my head that you really have to think about before you actually entering into, do I want Canadian citizenship to begin with? But that's basically the benefit you are balancing or you are considering in all end. More of a, plus minus issues. But I highly recommend you to become a permanent the Canadian citizenship if you choose to do so. I chose to be a Canadian citizen because I love this country. This is an amazing country. I was given so many opportunities, and I remember back home that as a girl, I have somewhat limited as what I can be. Here, anything I want to learn, anything I want to be, this is an amazing country for me. So I think that personally speaking, when you get the permanent residency, yes, you're allowed to live here, you're allowed to establish here. Canadian citizenship to me is now your choice. I'm going to make Canada mine. So I think this is really important for you to think about that in a personal perspective as well. Now, in terms of the Canadian citizenship law itself, it's been very, very, very busy area. In 2014, Conservative government passed a new law. Now, that didn't come to an effect until June of 2015. And it strengthened, or it requires more of a permanent resident to become a Canadian citizen. For example, you have to show the physical presence in Canada 4 out of 6 years. You have to have income taxes for those 4 years. You have to show your language skill. You have to do the knowledge skill. There's a lot of criteria. Some are good, some are questionable. It's my personal perspective, of course, but at the end of the day, it has been strengthened in that way. After the Liberal government takeover in November 2015, they now announced the amendment to that Citizenship Act in February 2016. Now they are proposing to change the physical residency 3 out of 5 years. And there's a certain problematic or questionable clauses that they've been removed. So in matter of last 12 months, we technically have 3 kind of a Canadian Citizenship Act. So if you are considering and proceeding with a Canadian citizenship right now, I would recommend you to be very careful as to, are you meeting the current law, which is effective as of June 2015, then most likely you will be qualified for the to be amended law 2016. Now, I don't know when the new amended law will go through the parliamentary process to become the law yet, but I would expect that they will be happening sometime this year, so I would recommend you to stay tuned on that.